Hi, and thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Delivery Biz Connect and how efficient taking telephone delivery orders can be. So we're going to select delivery, and then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the person's phone number. As we type the phone number, you'll see the system starts looking for matches. Oh, Joe Smith, that's who we wanted to place the order for. So we're going to click Use Data, and it'll automatically bring in the address. If we know that he's going to prepay, we can use the prepaid button, but if we know that we're going to charge him at delivery, we can also do that. We'll scroll to the bottom, we'll see that he's ordered from us 3 times in the past, and we can see everything he's ordered, but we can instantly go to the Order Now button. On the Order Now, we're simply going to go to the menu that we've pre-prepared of the items we're selling and hit Order Now. From here, your staff will print the ticket so it can get to the kitchen to be created, and that's just a normal print dialog that can go right to your existing ticket printer. When that's done, you'd click Close and add a new order, and you would be done. So let's take a look at that same situation where it's a phone order, it's for delivery, we're going to collect payment after the fact, and we start with a phone number search, but this time we don't find anybody. So we have to finish putting in the phone number. We didn't find anybody. We hit Tab, it's always fastest, and we start to put in the email. And it also tries to find somebody, as you noticed. Because this is, again, a new customer, we don't have anybody to be found, and we're going to go in and we are going to say that this is Fred Wilson. Notice that we put in the whole name, so it was easy, but as we hit Tab, it automatically splits it to Fred and Wilson separately. We then go put in the unit number. We know that this person lives at 4009, and the street address, 33 Smythe Street, or Smythe Muse, whichever. And this is his address, so we'll simply say, great. Google found it, we select it, and hit Save Contact. As we hit Save Contact, we now hit Order Now, exactly the same as if you were doing an order of somebody who was already in, and we could say that they're going to buy a bunch of shepherd's pie. That's excellent. And the follow through of the process with printing the ticket and everything else is exactly the same. So that's pretty cool. That shows you how you can do an order by telephone for delivery, all within Delivery Biz Connect. Okay, so moving on, let's take a look at how the process would work for somebody who walked up to your takeout window. So we're not going to click delivery because it's not for delivery. We will click paid because if they walked up, they're going to pay before you process the order. So then we would start with the telephone number search. So in this case, we'll go for somebody that already exists, and we can once again find our handy dandy Joe Smith. And Joe Smith's information will all be populated for us, and we'll immediately go to the Order Now. Now notice that the delivery information doesn't even exist. Yes, it's stored in the background, but we don't need it because this is a walk-up or a pickup order. So it doesn't get in your way, it's just here, and again, we can see everything that they ordered in the past, so we can carry on to process the order for Mr. Joe Smith right now. And we're gonna actually say that he's really in the mood for some hot wings, so he's gonna have 3 orders of Frank's Red Hot. Then the process is pretty much exactly the same as you saw it before. You'll see print a ticket, and you print your ticket, and then you say close and add new order. So we basically just completed an order very, very efficiently for someone who was in the system. Let's say I had a walk-up that wasn't in the system. So we'll go ahead and we'll put in a number that we know doesn't exist, and we'll finish completing it because that's what we need to do. And then we'll put in the email address. Always try to collect email addresses. It just helps a whole bunch in your ability to invite people back to order again or push them to your online ordering if you implement that as well. Of course, the system does all of that. And we're going to say this is Fred Jackson. Again, it splits the name. We can go ahead and we can say save the contact. And we then go on to place the order. And because, again, they're right in front of us, we don't need to actually have anything to do with their address, so the system hides it just to keep it efficient and save you from doing data entry that you don't need to do. And same thing, we get to the end of the process, we can print the ticket, we could take their credit card by PayPal. Because I didn't mark it as paid, notice that it asked me if I would like to actually take their credit card. If I had marked it as paid, as in the previous attempt, you'll see that it didn't actually show the ability to pay because it knew it was paid. So those are all important for the future statuses, and now you've seen how to do all the various types of orders of the people that you're interacting with directly. Please see our other video to learn how it works from the customer's perspective to just go use your online order interface that you can set up within about 20 minutes. Okay, so what happens next? We've had orders come in online. We've had orders that we've placed through people that have walked up to our takeout counter. We've had phone orders come in. So we have orders that have come in all kinds of different ways and in all various different states. So if we take a look, the first one is a pickup order that is already paid and its status is sitting as ordered. The reason it's green here is to make it very clear that this order has not yet been printed, so it hasn't made it to the kitchen. So in the case of a pickup order that was prepaid, it'll sit here and wait to be printed. So if we print it, we'll then see what happens to it next. So notice that it's 10211. We're going to print that. We won't go all the way, but you would just print that to your receipt printer. It would print it out. You'd use that to take to your kitchen. And when that's done, we'll actually see that 10211 has dropped to the bottom and it's all green. This is because it's a pickup order. It's now paid and printed, which means it is sitting here waited to be picked up. When the person comes to pick it up, it's clear that this one is free to be released. So you would simply go and you would say picked up and hit update. And that'll actually clear it from the list. So our next case is a delivery order that is paid and was not printed. Now that could happen because the person could have ordered online and paid for it. And of course it won't be printed at your end, but it was printed at their end. So that's how that status could occur. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to print it. And we'll see that 10210 has disappeared. It disappears because it's actually gone through to the batches page because it was printed and it was paid. So it's free to go to delivery. So the next order we have here is 10213. It is set up for delivery. It is currently unpaid, ordered, but not printed. So same thing. We can go and just say print, and it will also go off and disappear because it's also gone to the delivery page. So of course it goes to the delivery page even though it wasn't paid, because in the pre-COVID world it was fairly common to collect the payment at the customer's location. So the system still allows for that. So when we get out of COVID we can go back to the normal way. So that would mean that the delivery driver is going to go and take it out there, collect the payment, and it will be cleared from the list back to you when he actually clicks the button that says he's delivered it. So the next status we have is a pickup that is unpaid and printed. So that means that they're going to come to the store, and the first thing they'll probably do is they will come and say, hey, I'd like to pay for my order, because it might be ready, it might not be ready. So you might do both of these steps at the same time. So after you've taken their payment, you're going to simply change this to paid, and it's now paid and printed. So you could set this directly to say picked up when it's picked up, or you could just leave it here as paid and printed. You could leave it here as paid and printed because you actually took the money, but it is not in fact picked up, and therefore it drops to the bottom where it's all clear and waiting for pickup. So then you could have the pickup that is unpaid and printed. So same thing, you're going to just take the money, update that, and it'll drop to the bottom. So at this point, you have no new orders that need to be printed, no new orders that need to have money. These are the 3 orders that are sitting here waiting to be picked up by the customer. And as the customers come in, you simply say picked up, update, and away they go until your list is clear. So now you always know what status everything's at and where everything is going. So that's how we get things ready for delivery or for pickup. Okay, so once we've processed all of our orders, now of course we have to go and check for what orders are awaiting us in the delivery page. So here we see all the orders that were either placed online and paid for online for delivery that went through to the orders screen, which were then printed, processed, and now actually are sitting there in the driver's hand, and you're going to assign these to the driver. So if we were to pick all 3 of these orders to do one batch of orders and click submit, it's going to drop them down to the bottom here where we can say, yes, we actually want to use the driver Dennis, and then we will create the trip. As we create the trip, it then sends a push notification to the driver, and you can see that we're awaiting operator over here for the driver. The other interesting thing to note is if you look at this route, it's actually optimized the route. So it's decided based upon Google Maps which way to go to be the fastest overall time for you. So it's going to take the person to this one here first, and then they're going to come to here, and then on their way back, they're going to capture this one before they come back to home base. So it's taking care of all of that for you. So if we actually go ahead and we have the driver accept the job, what you'll see is over here that this is going to change. So you can see a waiting operator. So at this point, we are going to accept that job through the other app, which is done with a simple push of a button. And it will see, you can see now, it's changed to operator has accepted. So on the operator's sign, they have a navigate button that they see. So they click the navigate button and it will pop open Google Maps and start directing them to where they need to go. So you can see that I'm now en route to the first one. As I'm doing this demo, unfortunately, I'm sitting in front of the computer and I'm doing both sides, so you're not going to see both sides. But what would happen is you'd start to see the person driving, all the way around until the route is completed. As they complete a leg, they will be marking. So you can see now I've started the route. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go anywhere, so you won't see it, but they're en route. And as I mark delivered, we can see that delivery 1 has been delivered. And then I can see delivery 2 has been delivered. Delivery 3 has been delivered. And I'm now on my way home. And all we have is the pickup orders. No new orders have come in. And that's how you process a batch of orders in Delivery Biz Connect.